So here's the before the sanding. Now that it's well sanded, you can see that this has been nice and smooth now. Can't do anything with the hole. I just put some epoxy there. Now I've taken the wrapper off the sword, and I have bought this stock, metal stock. It's just a flat piece of metal, and I've cut 3 of these and I've put them together, and I think 3 should do. 3 is 4 I think would be a little bit too heavy. 3 I think the thickness is just right. I just taped it on with a duct tape right now, and for now the balancing point is about here where I want it. About here. Brought it back at least an inch. Before it was over here, right at the quillen. Now is here, and the weight now is much better. Once I was grinding this with the grinder, what happens is the epoxy does give up, and it separates. So I just don't care. I just keep it in the vise in this same alignment here, and I just keep grinding it away. Once I get the desired shape, then I'll put epoxy back on it again to glue all these pieces back together. Here is the tang of the sword here. As you can see, it's mostly put together with just epoxy. They've never really welded this onto the brass D-guard. They just sank epoxy everywhere. So I'm going to leave it at that. Since this is not a very expensive blade, I'll leave the epoxy, and then I'm going to just epoxy everything on top like so, and then put the original wrapping back on the handle, and that's pretty much done. As you can see, the old sword, which I haven't touched yet, the balance point is about here. 2 3/4 inch from the index finger, the back side of the guard. 2 3/4. The new one here, which is 1.5 inch. So we've gone from 2 3/4 inch to 1.5 inch. This design here is not bad. This thing here gives me a thumb rest, where my thumb would just rest right on top of this, and it gives me a pretty good grip compared to before. Huge difference before, where it's just half a handle, which is impossible to hold. After only 2 or 3 minutes of playing, it would cause my palm here to be red. So now with this new piece of metal here, this is weighing in at around 1.8 pounds, where this one is at 1.4 pounds. My hand, I could really feel the difference, that when I go like this and hold it vertically, I don't feel there's an urge for the blade to go down. Whereas without this, if I take this out automatically, I feel that the blade always want to go down. So it makes a huge difference when it goes from 2.5 inch to 1.5 inch. An inch difference of balance is a completely different sword. Now this sword is more maneuverable because the weight is closer to your hand over here, and it allows you to manipulate this blade quicker and faster. as well. Because of the added weight, it actually is a stronger blade because it's heavier. So it's a win-win situation. And with as of all swords, most manufacturers do not balance the sword this way. So when you do it, it makes a crappy sword an amazing sword once you balance it down closer to your hand. This becomes a real weapon at this point. So now these swords here are properly balanced and they are freaking amazing. As you've noticed, if you play with these Chinese-made swords with a brass D-guard, your finger gets a little bit black because of the oxidation. So you just got to wash your hands at the end of the day. But here they are. They are balanced perfectly. The grip is amazing. I can't really describe to you how well they handle because they're completely neutral when you're holding it. And these are at the exact same weight as this old pair at 1.8 pounds, same weight. And this, when you throw this, it feels like you're driving a truck compared to this. This is like 3 inches balance point right here from my index finger, where this is like 1.5 inch. And these are lightning fast. Lightning fast and at the same weight as these. They're combat weight at 1.8 pounds. You could pretty much stop pretty good staff coming at you. And these are terrible. So what I did was I put a piece of weight here at the end, a ratchet at the end. I just duct taped it, and still it doesn't balance. Now this balance at around 2.5 inch or to 2 inch, and still these are like a truck, slow and cumbersome compared to these. These are lightning speed, and I'll show you how well they are balanced. I just can't describe it. These swords now are amazing.